This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of May 27th, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. Alex Palou made history on Sunday by becoming the first Spanish driver to win the Indianapolis 500. Speaking on Inside Indiana Business Television prior to this year's race, IndyCar and Penske Entertainment CEO Mark Miles said he is optimistic about the future of IndyCar and its growing momentum.
I think there's lots of things. Fundamentally, this place, the history, the traditions, especially for our community and our state, are powerful, and they just keep growing. I think that's because we had great racing, amazing finishes. Fox has been a new partner in terms of media, and they promoted it I'm just so thrilled with that partnership.
This year's Indy 500 saw its biggest audience in 17 years, averaging 7.05 million viewers on Fox, according to Nielsen. President Donald Trump said Friday that U.S. Steel will keep its headquarters in Pittsburgh as part of what he called a planned partnership that seemed to signal that he'll approve a bid by Japan-based Nippon Steel to buy the iconic American steelmaker. Still, Trump's statement left it vague as to whether he is approving Nippon Steel's bid after he vowed repeatedly to block it. Indiana University last week announced it has closed the Office of the Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. In a statement on the IU Today website, the university said the move comes as it works to ensure it is fully compliant with state and federal laws and guidance related to DEI. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Northwest Indiana is on the move, and the next big conversation is happening in Valparaiso. Join business and community leaders at Innovate Northwest Indiana, a powerful afternoon of ideas, innovation, and insight. We're talking talent, technology, and transformation, and what's next for the region. Join us at Valparaiso University July 9, part of the Innovate Indiana series presented by Indiana University and Old National Bank. RSVP now at ibj.com/innovate.
Additional lawsuits have been filed against a Crown Point funeral services provider and a Chicago-based crematory, accusing them of mishandling the remains of plaintiffs' loved ones.
Now, a total of 29 lawsuits have been filed in Indiana against the business. Each of the lawsuits accuses Crown Cremation Service and Heights Crematory of failing to treat loved ones' bodies with, quote, dignity and respect, end quote, and allowing them to be stored improperly in trailers on Heights Crematory's property. Heights has been shut down by Illinois authorities, according to the Daily Southtown, a newspaper covering the South Side neighborhoods of Chicago. In March, two journalists from CBS News Chicago reported that bodies of several deceased individuals were found stacked on top of each other in a sometimes open trailer outside Heights' facility. The bodies were found partially wrapped in sheets or clear plastic bags with their face and body parts sticking out. In April, Darla Smith filed the initial lawsuit accusing the defendants of mishandling her husband's remains and failing to cremate his body in a timely manner. Smith entered into a contract with Crown shortly after her husband died on August 4th of 2024. As part of the contract, Crown informed Smith that her husband's body would be properly cremated within 5 to 7 days. However, the lawsuit states her husband's body wasn't cremated until August 23rd, 19 days after he died. This is not a class action suit, as some of the lawsuits complain of the improper storage of the remains, while others believe the remains they received aren't actually those of their loved ones. Attorneys for those suing said that while they're seeking compensatory damages for the plaintiffs, these lawsuits are ultimately about closure for the grieving loved ones. Heights Crematory did not respond to the Indiana lawyer's request for comment. Crown Cremation Services declined to comment on the suits. I'm Marek Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Purdue University Fort Wayne is immediately discontinuing its baseball and softball programs, the university announced Friday. The move is directly related to $6 million in budget cuts announced earlier in the week. The university said the decision will create an expected cost savings of up to $1 million. Purdue Fort Wayne said senior leaders from the university and the athletic department are working to assist everyone who has been affected by the discontinuation of both programs. All student-athlete scholarships will be honored and support will be provided to any student athlete wishing to transfer. Those who do transfer will be immediately eligible at their next school. University of Southern Indiana President Steve Bridges is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.